Hello, and welcome to another podcast with myself and Lillian. Today we're talking about a book called A Radical Rethink of Parkinson's, The Long Road to Recovery by Robert Keane. This book's also been edited by Lillian, and she comments in the book as well. It's available on Amazon, and I'll tell you some information about it. What if everything you've been told about Parkinson's is only half the story? When Robert Keane was diagnosed at the age of 29, the doctors painted a future that ended in a wheelchair. For 20 tough years, he believed them, until the day he decided to stop waiting for the disease to write his ending. Now, almost 50 years after his first symptoms, Robert is still standing, again walking, still refusing to surrender. This is the true story of how one man rewrote the rules of a disease that 12 million people worldwide are told is irreversible. Inside these pages, you'll discover the turning point that made Robert say enough and take his life back. His transformative work with Danish biologist and master coach Lillian Sjoberg, whose methods have helped many people with Parkinson's quiet the storm of Parkinson's symptoms. Lillian's insightful commentaries translate Robert's experience into clear biological understanding for most readers. This is not a polite memoir that nods along with the standard prognosis. This is a bold, deeply human account of what becomes possible when you dare to trust your own body's wisdom more than a diagnosis. If you're tired of being told there's nothing you can do, this book is your permission slip to prove them wrong. Read it, restart your belief, the solution is staring you in your face.
So that is what we agreed to put on the backside of the book. So, Andy, you have helped me in your capacity of an English teacher because I'm sort of dyslexic in English. So how has it been for you to read this book?
It's been an emotional journey rather than a kind of technical problem. I mean, there's technical things to correct, but it's more than that. It's been an emotional journey. I found the chapter about his decline very, very difficult, very, very hard to read, but it's worth persevering with. Very challenging read, very, very depressing, very emotional, but very, very interesting as well. And then his ascendance, when he decided he wasn't going to be in a wheelchair, that he was going to get up, he was going to walk, is so heartwarming and so inspiring that I was really pleased I read the book.
And this a little hard chapter to read. I put a little warning on it so people can skip it. But for example, spouses that cannot feel it, I thought they could benefit reading about how it can be.
Absolutely. I think it's very difficult to explain to your partner or your spouse how you feel, how Parkinson's affects you, how the symptoms are so diminishing. It's really difficult to explain this. And the book will help a spouse to understand, definitely.
And that was my thought. We don't want to look into the direction of all this bad, but there are people stuck in this, maybe even something worse than Robert described. So I thought it was actually also interesting to get this inside information out about how it feels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it is so hard to articulate, because so much is going on in your mind and your body that it's very hard to put that into words. And I think often partners are at a loss. They don't know what to do. They feel sort of almost rejected by your behavior, but you don't want to push them away, but you end up doing that because you can't explain why you're behaving in the way that you do.
So maybe we have two way that spouses can help, both by understanding what is going on and help to keep the hope up, maybe.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I think if they have more insight into it, it would definitely benefit both people involved.
So hopefully, or most of the people with Parkinson have very nice spouses, but a few have spouses that are not very supportive. and they'll probably not read the book, but if they do, they can see and understand that there is hope, that there is a lot to do and help keep up the hope.
Well, it makes such a difference. Hope is everything. I mean, reading that Robert actually got out of his wheelchair and started to taught himself to walk again after being in a wheelchair for 10 years was just so inspiring. And that's all that's the epitome of hope. Really wonderful.
And I guess we need to have some beacons of light. We need to hear the good stories as well.
Yeah, we need to hear the bad stuff, but we also need to hear the good stuff to balance it.
And
Otherwise, your thinking becomes very unbalanced, and that just drags you down.
and it's not it, Robert is still on some medication, still having symptoms, but he lived his life to the fullest and making podcast and writing and painting. So he sort of got back his life again.
Yeah, I think it's really, really important to have a purpose. I think if you just give up, then your body, your mind and body will go into decline. And it's so important to have a purpose. And writing has given him such a wonderful purpose, as well as all the other things he does. He's admirable.
Yeah. And now this purpose has a future as well.
Yeah,
It's not
absolutely.
there's not a deadline and then things go extremely downwards. You can turn things around. And that's,
This is one of the hardest things about getting this diagnosis is that you feel that your life has been curtailed, cut short, and it's not necessarily true. You can thrive, you can have goals, you can have a purpose, you can engage in the world. It's so important that you do that, and Robert has proved that that works.
and you don't need to follow the trodden route of you will only get worse and worse. And with these experience, people that are new to Parkinson and Parkinson's symptoms, they can allow themselves to think in the hopeful direction
Mm,
and
definitely, yes.
stop that nocebo effect of all the bad things you hear.
Yeah, because it's a downward spiral if you let it be. You have more control than you think you do.
Yeah, a lot more. And the book is a lot about this, where I give this little clues on what to think instead
Mm.
of this doomsdays spiraling down.
Yeah, because the power of thought is astonishing. What you think has such a profound effect on your body. And that's clear to me now, absolutely, after doing the course. That's really clear to me.
Yeah. And Andy is talking about a course I have that start here January 2026. So you are welcome to come closer if you have any want of joining this journey here. So I'll also just mention the book I did the last year about interview with people with Parkinson, the shortcut to hope and healing. Did you read that
Yes,
before you
yes, I've
started?
read it. I've read it. Read it before I read Robert Keene's book.
Yeah,
It's very inspiring. Again, these stories are very, very inspiring. These interviews are really, really worth a read, definitely.
and my idea with them is not that people get better as such, but the crack in the old beliefs.
Mm,
That was my goal, that people can see the connection with old stress in their life.
mm.
Did the book succeed that?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Definitely. Yes, you can see the connection for all of those people that you interviewed.
yeah. And the problem is that we have what? 50, 60, 70 years of this can only be worse and worse. So a lot of people, most people are sort of brainwashed
It's
to
very
that.
hard, it's very difficult to push against the standard narrative as well, Lillian. It's very hard to say, I don't accept that, I want to go a different path. It's really challenging to do that because so powerful.
And with these books, it's my idea slowly to titrate new thoughts
Mm,
that is going against this.
mm.
That
Good.
maybe it's not all doom and gloom. Maybe there's another connection. So in the first book is this connection with the old stress I open up. And then when Robert came to me with his post and asked if I would help him make a book out of them, then I thought we also need the path we can start to walk on. And he called himself a Pathfinder because he has living with the disease. He has found out a way to go. So you, of course, skip all the first 20 years of his life, and in the speed you are ready, you can go to the last half where he opened up to what to think and do instead.
It's a very interesting transformation that he goes through. It's fascinating.
Yeah. And is it true to say that you have started doing the same?
I have started doing the same. I was doing it this morning, in the early hours of the morning this morning. I was lying awake and I was thinking, if I have anxious thoughts, my body will react. I will start to tremor. And sure enough, I was having anxious thoughts. I was tremoring. Then I calm myself down by breathing slowly and thinking about pleasant things. And it's just so clear to me that there's a connection, that I can control these symptoms by thinking differently. The power of thought is astonishing.
Yeah. I'll just make a little add on to that because tremor is a symptom that comes very fast when you have these thoughts. So that's why it's easy to see in people with Parkinson and easy to see the connection. The guys that have stiffness or pain and some part of their body is not working as it should be, it's a slow build up of
Mm,
adrenaline. So the reaction on a stressful encounter come maybe some hours or maybe even the day after. So it's a little more difficult, but it's still good to look a
mm.
little the day before, some hours before. It's
Yeah.
still a lot of connection to make, and that's what we spent 4 sessions, lessons in the course about checking into these connections to stress and symptoms.
I'll give you another example, Lillian, of what you're talking about. I watched something last night on television, and then it was very, very distressing. And then I had symptoms at 4 a.m. And I think there's a connection between the two. And I've just realized actually while I'm speaking that there's a connection between the two because I did think about that thing I'd watched
Yeah.
and it gave me symptoms.
Yeah. So the brain, of course, continue to,
Mm,
I don't know if you can call it ponder or process whatever is going on the rest of the day before. And they are actually, science call it a sort of dishwash that we in the night wash
mm,
our brain and sort of repeat the most emotional situation
mm.
during the day. So maybe you had a dream and about that television show, and that was enough to wake you up with,
Possibly, could have been a dream, but I found myself thinking about it.
yeah,
And I thought, why am I thinking about this? That's because it was distressing and it's my body's trying to protect itself.
yeah. So from here, we think you should start a new road, this long road to recovery. There's no quick fixes, but
No.
number one is to see the hope and
Mm.
then take one step after the other. And but maybe it's time for you to get this radical rethink of Parkinson so you can get on the road, however short or long it might be for you. So with these words, let's call it a day and see you in next podcast.